Hello, my little crafty monsters. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So, in today's fabulous tutorial, oh my god, there he goes again. He's gonna start with that. I'm sorry, but you know, old habits are hard to get rid of. But anyway, we're going to be making these cute little vintage tags, and we are going to be using some of this little clip art that I was gifted and purchased from Piddix, and we're gonna have her link on the bottom too because we've been using her art. Now, some of the stuff I did purchase, but she did gift me a lot of stuff, so we are using some of these bad boys on these little tags. And I did do like 2 of each, but I kind of arranged them a little bit different, even though it's 2 of the same. And we went ahead and we made these little bad boys. How cute are these, right? So, I mean, I know you guys know how to make tags. Everybody knows how to make tags. But I had to make these tags myself, so I just said, why not just film it and let my little crafty monsters see how I work, because they always see how I work. So let's do this. I know you guys want to get down and dirty, so let's get down and dirty, boo-boos, and let's make these little tags. I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, my little crafty monsters, let's get down and dirty and make these little bad boys right here. So we are going to be using this Corner Chompers by We Are Memory Keepers, also with a paper punch and another paper punch that's made by Fiskars, and I believe that's who makes it, and it's a little heart shape. There is a die right there for a tag, but we will not be using that. We will be using the We Are Memory Keepers little tag board. So you guys will see me using that little bad boy. But for the most part, we don't end up using the tag. These are the papers I'm going to be using, and we're going to go for the vintage look. So hopefully this is what we accomplish, my little crafty monsters. It's all a surprise. And remember, nothing ever goes as planned. So, you know. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and cut these little bad boys down to 4 3/4 by 3 inches. And the reason why I'm going to be keeping all of them like this size is because I feel that they're a good enough size to decorate, as well as, you know, they're not too small, they're not too big. And so I'm going to cut every single one of the tags. So I'm going to make 2 white, 2 cream color, and then 2 of this pastel green. If this is green, I was told it was green, but anywho, and I'm also going to cut 2 extra ones out of this cardstock because the cream color cardstock is really thick. I think it's 110 pounds. And so I'm going to glue this green pastel cardstock onto that cream color just to make it a little more sturdier, because that cardstock is really thin and it's not heavy enough for a tag. So I'm going to go ahead and make that little bad boy a little thicker. So this is why I'm going to glue him onto the cream color. I'm just going to smooth everything out, make sure the glue is evenly distributed. And after we do this, guys, we're going to go ahead and ink these little bad boys. Now we're going to go ahead and ink the whole entire tag, like blotches here and there. You guys are going to notice this. And the reason why is because I want to make it look like they're dirty, kind of like, you know, they're vintage, they're old, they're weathered, they're everything. But first, before we do that, we're going to go ahead and stamp our little papers So I'm going to kind of make like my own little DSP paper is basically what I'm going for. On these two tags, I'm gonna go ahead and leave these with just like numbers kind of going all different directions. And on the other two colors of tags, I'm going to make those a different little design as well. Now, you guys got to keep in mind that don't get too crazy about stamping, because you are going to be layering things over this. So there are going to be parts of these stamps that are not even going to be visual to the eye, but I put this down first just in case there is areas. You don't have to feel like you have to fill up every single area. You know, it is okay to leave some of the back paper exposed too. So this is the reason why I do the stamping, because if there is an area that I do not, want to have to fill up with another element, then I could just leave it like that, because it's kind of, part of the decor. You're seeing that stamped part of that paper in the back. And so on the next two cards, we're going to go ahead and do these vintage cameras. I thought these were super cute, and I don't know, I just really thought that I could pull this off by making my own little camera DSP paper in the back. So we're going to go ahead and pick these bad boys up, but we are going to use black ink on this because I want them to be pretty, vibrant and pretty dark. And so we will be using my black ink that we always use. And then we're going to go ahead and just stamp it. Now, if there is areas on these little cameras that you guys are not getting a perfect stamp, do not worry, guys. Remember, this is a vintage tag. So, a little distressed ink is not going to harm anything. Now, if we were going to be doing a birthday card and this was going to be the focal point, then yeah, we probably would want crisp edges, but we're not thriving for that here. We want it to kind of look kind of weathered and, a little distressed. And so right here, I'm using this Tim Holtz stamp set. I don't know what the stamp set is called, but I did get this on the clearance section at Michael's one time. I was like, yeah. So go ahead and stamp this one up with your little black ink. And I just went ahead and arranged these however I wanted, because however I thought was going to look cute. So, like I said, some of this is not even going to show, but some parts are going to show. So I think it's going to look cute either way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our vintage photo, and we are going to go ahead and ink these little bad boys. And we want to make these look a little bit distressed. We want them to look a little weathered and, a little abused. Abuse these little bad boys. So go ahead and don't be scared, because there really is no right or wrong way how to do these little things, or these little touches of dirtiness. I'm not really worried about the edges yet, because I'm going to go ahead and cut these little tags and hole punch and all that. And then after we do all that, then I'm going to go ahead and do the edges. So I'm going to show you right here that with the We Are Memory Keepers corner crop, we're going to go ahead and get a thicker tag. It just makes a thicker tag. That's the large corner. So, and then all you'll need is a little hole puncher, any kind of hole puncher. In this case, we are using them, We Are Memory Keepers. And I'm adjusting the size so that they're both the same size. And that's using these two little punches. Now for this one, we're just going to go ahead and use our ruler. Just kind of see how much you want to cut off. Use a pencil to go ahead and mark your area, and then use your scissors to do one straight cut. Don't hesitate. One straight cut, guys. Then you use that same corner to cut the other side, and then you could use that tag to cut your other tag. This is a Fiskars paper punch, and it does it into a little heart shape. So you could even get creative and do little heart shaped, and all you used was scissors, a ruler, and a paper punch. Now on this one, we are going to use our little We Are Memory Keepers board, and there's lines on there, there's guides, so you could just go ahead and guide yourself. Keep using the same guide. And then right here you use the size of your tag. In this case it's 3 inches, so you put it in between the 3 inches, and that gives you a center paper punch, which is really cute. This is a pretty fast way of making tags, FYI. But on all 3 ways, you still had to cut your cardstock to whatever size the tag you wanted. So, you know, it doesn't matter which way you guys go, you always have to start off by figuring out what size tags you're going to want to make. And then you could go ahead and use whatever method is easier for you. So, like I said, this was the part where we're going to go ahead and start. Well, we already started to ink the edges, but this is where we're going to be making it look a little bit more distressed. Now, I have my little distresser on for the paper. It's a paper distresser, and I'm just going to go ahead and rub the edges with this to distress the edges to make them look really kind of, you know, torn and weathered down. And then I'm going to go ahead and lightly from the very top, I'm not even going to rub that edge. I'm just doing the top part of the edges and putting a little bit of this little bad boy on there. So now that we have all these little guys done, we are going to do the second part of the painting, which is adding the gold accents. Now, I did want to add these gold accents. This is optional. You guys don't have to do this, but I do like to add gold whenever I'm doing anything kind of vintage, because I don't know, for some reason to me it just looks really nice. And right here I'm just getting my brush and I'm kind of dry painting this little tag, and you can't see it, but there's very light, thin streaks of gold. I go in one direction and then I go into another direction, so it's kind of like a little crisscross. And I know you guys can't pick this up, but literally there is like little tiny fine streaks of gold going one direction and then they go another direction. And I'm going to do that to this little tag. That's going to allow this tag to also dry a lot faster, so you don't have to really worry. And then on this tag right here, I'm going to go ahead and just do the edges. I'm going to go ahead and rub the edges with my little gold and kind of make them look like they're sort of like a little faded gold. And I really like how this looked. I'm not really putting too much paint. You guys don't want to add too much paint. Just if you guys notice, I'm not really touching that glob of paint. I'm just touching the part that's next to it on the actual plate. So I'm not really picking up that much paint is what I'm trying to say. And so you could go ahead and just go all the way around, and it gives this accent. Like it's a really, really nice accent. I really like how that looked. And so for these little bad boys, I'm gonna go ahead and flick the paint onto my acrylic block. But right here, Jesse forgot that I have to add some water. Hello, Jesse. And so usually when I do this, I do kind of thin out this acrylic paint with water, but I had totally forgot. And here we go, boo-boos. So this is the effect that we're trying to go for. So if you are using acrylic paint, just go ahead and make sure that you thin it out with a little bit of water, because you can't really put it on directly like that. It's too thick. So then right here, I'm going to go ahead and start to decorate these little bad boys because they're done. While the ones that I flickered the paint, those I'm going to go ahead and allow them to dry. The reason why we have to let them dry is because the paint is a little bit more heavier than what we did to these 4 tags. So now this is the part where you start taking out all of your little elements, everything that you would want to use. It doesn't mean you're going to use them. It's just what you want to use. There is a possibility that you will use it, and there's a possibility that you might not use it. So just take it out anyway, because your creative little juices cannot start flowing unless you have everything out there visual. And once you have everything out right in front of you, then you can start figuring out what you want to put together. And in this case, this is what you guys always see me do, is I always take out things that I like, things that I saved. Some of those tickets are parking tickets that I've saved, you know, and I use them in my project. So if you guys go somewhere where you guys get parking tickets, always save those. They come really handy in some of these little projects. And some of those are project style cards that we printed out. And we also probably purchase from Etsy because we do a lot of purchasing on Etsy. This is a book that I got at the 99.999 store, and I usually just use this book to tear out little pieces of that little scripture kind of look. And I'm just going to do some 4 tears, some 4 uneven little tears, and I will be burning the edges of these because you guys know I'm a arsonist. Just be very careful on this part, my little crafty monsters. Remember that everything in your craft room is flammable, so please be very careful if you're going to be doing the burning of these edges. I just love how this looks. I mean, honestly, I don't know, I just love it. So you guys probably have seen me do this in a lot of other projects because I do it a lot. And so once you go ahead and start burning all the edges of your paper, go ahead and clean your hands because you are going to have a little bit of charcoal on it. And now all we're going to do really is just start to put the washi tape, because we have to put the washi tape first onto these little tags. And I guess I'm not really putting the washi tape on here yet, am I? Oh, Jesse, sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. But anyway, so on this part, all I'm really doing is just layering, guys. You just want to layer, make sure that you know, I mean, you can have a plan on how you want things to look. If it works for you, I would lay things out onto your tag and see how it looks first. I like to angle things so that they're coming off of the tag as well. You guys notice that I always cut off that excess. I don't know, I just really like that look. The way, you know, it's kind of on the tag, but it's not really fully on the tag, if you know what I mean. Like for instance, this bingo card, we're gonna go ahead and only put like the corner part of the card on there. And I just like to have like little accents like that. And that's all layering. You're just layering stuff on there. Now, these are those little clip arts that we purchased from Piddix and were gifted to us by Piddix. So her link will be in the bottom, guys. Check her out. And right here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take out my glitter and metallics, like scraps, because you guys know that I love to use these scraps. You guys never throw these away. This is why, because no matter what, you guys will always be able to use it for some sort of backing like this, to give things an accent, to make things pop, to give, you know, instead of a shadow, you are giving a little glitter. I mean, I think that looks really cute. And then you could do the same thing to each one of them, but with a different element. And so as you guys see here, I'm using some gold glitter. I'm also using some white glitter, and then I'm going to use some gold metallic. And this is what I'm going to use to kind of accent these little awesome little clip arts that we got from Piddix. And go ahead and just stick these little bad boys on there. I'm gonna go ahead and just elevate these by using these little foam squares. These little foam squares, oh my God, they give me such a hard time when I try to peel this off with my fingers. And it's because I have no nails, but they're easier with my tweezers. Right now I'm gonna get my tweezers because this is upsetting me. And so now that we have our tweezers, we're gonna go ahead and also cut these little gemstones, because I'm going to be using some little bling, like just 2 of them. I was going to use 3, but then I was like, nah, 2 is good. 3 is too much. And so we're gonna go ahead and basically do almost the same thing to this little bad boy as well. Just notice that we did use a bingo card. The other one was a little ticket. And right here, I'm going to arrange all of the elements that we used in a different arrangement. But basically these 2 tags are the same. You just kind of turn them around. And I think that's like the really good part about, you know, just not having a plan and just going with the flow. And so right here, and I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm just basically backing up these little clip arts with a lot of the little glitter scraps, and then I'm just layering them on top of each other. And I think that just gives them that little extra something. And right here I'm using my little tweezers to take off the backing on that square because those foam adhesives are so upsetting sometimes. So now that we got this little bad boy done, we're going to go ahead and start working on the other one. And now we just add the little gems on this little bad boy, and we're going to be done on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate all these tags first, and then afterwards we're going to go ahead and figure out what kind of twine or what kind of ribbon or what it is that we are going to use onto these tags so that the recipient would be able to have something to hang them off of. And the process for all of these tags basically is going to be the same. I mean, it's not really different. It's just really layering, and I'm trying my hardest not to really do too much of a 3D effect. That one I'm going to leave it for the last two cards. I mean, the last two tags. Right here, I am going to add this double-sided tape because you guys already have a feeling that I'm going to be adding some eyelash yarn. If you guys have seen my tutorials, you guys see that this is my first step to it all the time. And this is just to also give those little dress forms a little more of a depth. See, the thing is that I didn't want to ink those dress forms, but I wanted the little dress forms to basically be to have an accent in the back, and I think that these little eyelash yarns really are what helped it do that. I don't know, it just makes that little element pop. And it also makes them look fun. So right here now I'm just using all these other little elements, and I'm gonna go ahead and back this little bad boy up with, these are those little kid clip arts. They're like a vintage kids, and they have really cute little sentiments, and that's why I use those a lot, because I really think they're cute. But they are also very kind of freaky. They're like a freaky cute. How about that? So right here I'm going to use some pearls on this one. I don't want to use bling because I think the bling is what we're getting out of that little eyelash yarn. And I feel that when you do little vintage, sometimes pearls are cute. So we're using our little flatback pearls, like we always say, the little flatback. And ay loco, cállate. Okay, so this is that organic hem little thread or twine, whatever you want to call it. I purchased this at Walmart in the little jewelry section, and it was the thinnest one that they had. And so I'm just going to go ahead and run this through these buttons just to make it look like, you know, how the buttons look with little thread in them. And then I'm going to glue that on the corner. It's just a little element. I don't know. I just like using those little vintage looking buttons on these little bad boys. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for this little guy. And since I already have this little twine out, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to this button and just have this little bad boy ready for when we need to attach him to our project. Now, because I also have this organic hem thread out, I feel like this is what we're also going to be using to add on to our little tags so that the recipients could have something to hang them off of, for two reasons. Because I like that it is a brown color and it looks organic and it looks kind of vintage-ish. So yeah. So right here, like I said, all we're doing is we're basically just doing the same exact thing. We're just going to go ahead and layer these little bad boys, but just in a different arrangement because the other ones were on the other side, just to give it a little something different. You know, that's just what I think. And so once you got this little bad boy done, then you could move on to the next tags, which are the last ones. And I think that those last ones are going to be super duper adorable. So just add your little button and you're done. Now for these little bad boys, these are the ones that I want to use this little doily, and so we're going to go ahead and use this little metallic doily onto this tag, and we are going to use some paper flowers as well. And the reason why I like to use doilies whenever I'm using paper flowers is because doilies to me just remind me of like little country, little dainty, kind of little girly sort of. I don't know, it just really does. But these gold ones kind of give it more of a like, hey. So I really like how they look, and I know they kind of blend in, but trust me, it looks so much better once all the elements are on there. And I am going to pop these with some color with these little paper flowers. I'm going to do two different types of paper flowers. I'm going to do these flat ones, and then I'm going to do some 3D ones. I like to use different types of elements. And I did forget to mention that I did pull out those little green leaf glitter accents because, you know, I like to use those whenever I do flowers. And we are going to use these little 1-inch circle little clip arts that we purchased from, well, that we were given from Piddix. And we are going to use something to back up these little circles as well. I'm not going to just attach them like that. So right here, I'm just kind of laying it out just to see how it looks to me. And I really kind of like how that looks. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and go with that. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and get my little 1-inch paper punch. And I'm going to go ahead and punch out some gold circles. These are the gold circles that we will be using to back up our little clip arts, just to give them a little something. You know, we've been doing this throughout the whole entire project, guys, so why not do it on the circles as well, right? Everything gets backed up with glitter. I don't know, I just like how it just makes it pop. So I put them in different directions, kind of going different ways, so that each 3 of them are, you know, going in a different direction. So right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and add my little green glitter leaf, and then I'll add my little, you know, our little flat flowers first, and then we're gonna go ahead and add these little 3D roses. And I'm just gonna add 3 of them. I don't want to get too crazy on that. I really like how that looks for some reason. I don't know. Now we did get a little glue on there and I took it off, so we're gonna have to fix that with some sort of something. So I'll fix it before I give it to my recipient, but for the most part, guys, everything is fixable. If you guys get a little glue and it tears off, remember you could always throw some ink on there, add some little gold specks or something, but you could always cover that up. So don't ever worry about it. Just keep going. Just keep going, just keep going. Okay, we're not gonna do that. So right here, we're gonna go ahead and just finish up with these little bad boys. And I mean, seriously, how freaking adorable was that, right? And so we're gonna go ahead and pick up our little stuff because you know Jesse likes to have all his stuff picked up before we end the video. And we're gonna go ahead and add the little twine onto all of these little bad boys. These are the 6 little tags we made, and they were super easy. We made these 6 tags in less than 30 minutes. How about that, guys? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out these little ties. I'm gonna call them ties because what else are we gonna call them, right? They're for people to tie onto a gift or a bag or whatever. But anyway, we're gonna cut as many as you need. In this case, we're going to use 2 per tag. Why is Jesse using 2 per tag? I don't know, because he's a little extra. I just wanted to do 2. So we're doing 2 per tag. It actually really looks cute. I really like how it looked. And I mean, you know, it's just to also give it a little more decoration. So you could add as many as you guys want. If you guys want to get even more extra, add more than 2, add 3, add 4. But, you know, I think it looks really, really cute. And so that's really, really simple to add these little bad boys. And that's how easy it is to add these and to make these. I hope that inspired you guys. How awesome are these, right? I really, really love how these came out, my little crafty monsters. And that's how easy it was to make these little bad boys. Now, you see, you guys, just like using different kind of elements and starting off with a base, because you want to start off with a base on your cards, like, you know how we started with the construction paper or the cardstock, whatever you want to call it, and then we stamped it, and then we inked the edges, and we inked the cardstock, and then we added like another element on top of that. We added some paint, like some little gold finishes here and there. I mean, I wish you guys could really see this, because I mean, it's so freaking nice how these tags came out. And that's super easy. Look at the little edges. Whoa, calm down, come on, boo-boos. There you go, there you go, my little crafty monsters. So look at the edges of these little tags when we just kind of flicked our little dry brush with the gold. Pero mira que tan cute, ¿verdad, mijo? I know, it's like a big impact, right? For that little effort. Oh my God, that's gonna be my new big impact for little effort. I'm gonna put it on a shirt, boo-boo. So, of course, we always add my little eyelash trim, or eyelash yarn, or eyelash, whatever you want to call it, boo-boo. But I always add that because, you know, I just love it. And then there's some more of that little Piddix clip art. Freaking amazing. I love it. Love it. And that's how easy it was to make these little bad boys. I hope that inspires you guys to make some little vintage tags for a project. Maybe you're going to give one to your swapping buddies or whatever it is. Or maybe you want to make a tag for a gift, because how cute would this be? Whoa, what was that? It's telling me to breathe, boo-boo, because apparently I have not been breathing. That's what my watch is saying. So, you know, how cute would this be as a birthday gift? You know, I mean, not a birthday gift, but on a birthday gift. Come on, Jesse. Get it together, boo-boo. So how cute, let's start it all over. Okay, ready? How cute would this look on a gift, a birthday gift, right? All you have to do is just write in the back, like, to and from. Come on, focus, boo-boo. There you go. To and from, and like, hello, it's super cute and easy. So there you go, my little crafty monsters. Like I said, I hope that inspires you guys to make some. And if you do, please share it with us on our Facebook or Instagram. Tag us, hashtag Paper to Masterpiece, and let us see your creations, boo-boo. And that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little icon. It's the little picture of moi. And we become BFFs. That's if you're not a subscriber. But if you are, thank you so much, my little crafty monsters. You guys rock. Yes, you do. Anywho, that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. Oh, share and tell a friend. Hello. You gotta go and tell your friends, you guys. You can't just keep this as a little secret. Don't be stingy, boo-boo. Don't be stingy. Tell the world. And that's it, my little crafty monsters. Until next time. Bye.